Hello and welcome back to Spud's Vlogs. Today is gonna be something different. Today is not gonna be a vlog, gonna be more of a tribute to what you can see behind me. Behind me is a 1952 steam engine locomotive called Bundy, and I'm gonna talk too much about him because I will in a minute. But yes, he's 1955 right here. I'll show you this here so you can see it better. This is him. He was built in Bundaberg, number 2, BFC, 1952. Bundy. He will be sitting here for the rest of his days, just outside of the Choo Choo's restaurant. This is where he's gonna sit. But anyways, that's enough of me talking. Here will be my over voice. Yes. This is the story of the Ballahooly. The 3 steam trains, this one being Bundy, Speedy, and Nelson, being the other 2. And what is now the end of the line for the steam trains, for sure. This is where Bundy is going to be sitting for the next who knows how long. We have no idea, which is sad, but yeah. When we first moved here, and I knew there was steam trains here, I was jumping up and down with joy. I love the fact that there was 2 steam trains at the time that ran through Port Douglas. It made me so happy as an 11-year-old kid. Every time I'd hear that whistle, I'd go straight to Choo Choo's, and I would basically get a ticket if I could, get a return ticket, go into Port Douglas, wait for them to turn the train around, and then come on back. Obviously, for the first year we were in Port Douglas, I would go on the steam train every chance I got, which most of the time was every Sunday. And basically, when we moved away from Port for two and a bit years, nearly 3 years, I didn't obviously go on the steam trains at all, which obviously you could tell if you check out the Love Bunch. That was me when we first moved to that the new area we lived at, until we moved back down to Port Douglas. The steam trains, of course, are still running. Every time I would hear the whistle, I'd go down, get a ticket, and I knew the volunteers really well. Got on really well with these guys. And I was hoping one day that I could become one of these volunteers as well. But sadly, that never became a reality, because about 18 months ago, all 3 steam trains stopped. Due to COVID, no one could come up to the tourist town that is Port Douglas and ride the steam trains, and it was just too expensive to run. So they just left them at the depot, never to be there again. Never for people to smell the sweet smell of smoke coming out of a steam train. I think that's what I miss the most, is the amazing smell of the steam. And every once in a while, I would get to go up front with the engineer and the fireman. You know, it was the best, especially on Bundy, which is this train here. He was one of the easy ones to get on, because as you can see, he had a back part of where his tender connected. He had a bit of a lump there, and I'd stand there while the fireman would get the coal and the engineer would be driving along. And then there was another train called Speedy, which I'll tell you about in a second. He was a bit harder because he didn't have a tender. he was just one full engine. Didn't have a tender or anything like that. He just had a small coal tray, just like Bundy in The Last Great Adventure. If you've never heard of it, I'll put a link in the description. You can go watch the 43-minute video of the little steam train that went from its hometown in Nambour all the way to where it was built originally in Bundaberg, and then all the way up to the end of the sugar rail in the Daintree. But yes, it's a very sad day for the steam trains. This is Bundy. Speedy is up next. This is Speedy. Speedy, well, he's basically the same as Bundy. Built in the same factory, same year. He's one of Bundy's sisters, is how most train users put it. Well, that's how the engineers put it, I guess. Speedy is one of Bundy's sisters. And basically, as you can see, they have caged him, like put cages, or fences rather, however you want to put it, all around so you can't get in, is what it looks like. They said you will be able to walk in them and look, still interact with it without, doing any damage to yourself or the train. But I'm not too sure anymore because the cage is going on it. But Speedy is one of the smaller locos that ran around Port Douglas. As you can see, he's got the basically the cab and the coal tray in the back. It doesn't have a tender because it wasn't designed. Well, it was designed for one, but obviously just never implemented it and just left him the way he is now. But this is what I was talking about Speedy being a bit harder to get into, like with 3 people, because there's not a lot of room inside the actual cab itself, because there's no backing to walk out onto. It's just 2 people in the cab and then a third person. It's a bit crampy. I've actually been in Speedy once, and yeah, it was actually quite uncomfortable. Not a lot of room to move around and stuff, especially when the fireman's trying to throw coal into the fire, keep the steam running. But yes, Speedy is basically the same as Bundy, so there's not a lot to really say about him. It's basically same manufacturers, same people, built in Bundaberg and stayed in Bundaberg until obviously it was bought by the Ballahooly a few years later after Bundy was bought. But yes, it obviously was a tourist train as well, used to run along, and was the fastest steam train in Port Douglas, is the fastest steam train in Port Douglas. I guess I can't say was because it doesn't run anymore. Steam train in Port Douglas, it would move, but obviously they all pulled along at the same speed, about 15 kilometers, depending on where the area they was in. But it was still an awesome steam train to watch roll along the tracks. Yeah, so there's not much else I can say about him. Yeah, not really. Apart from Speedy not being his original name was Dobbin when he first was working in the sugar industry, but that obviously changed a few years later. But anyway, Nelson's next. This is Nelson. Nelson was purchased by the Ballahooly back in 2017. He was found in the yard in Gordon Vale where he'd been kept since being put out of production by the fast diesel trains. The faster diesel trains, I should say. Yes. Nelson, right here, is a very good train. Obviously, as I just said, he was in a shed in Gordonvale, right here. This is what he looked like before he was painted, and all that sort of stuff. And the photo you just saw was when Nelson was first started up, after being painted. This was the first time he was ever brought down and started running. And as soon as we saw him coming along the tracks, we ran down and wanted to make sure that we could see him. But yeah, he underwent a complete restoration of the paintwork, the body, just everything in general needed doing to it. He's one of the largest and eldest steam trains in Port Douglas. He's a very, very strong steam train, and he's also had modifications done to him with the tender. He used to look a lot like Bundy and Speedy, mainly Speedy. He used to have water tankers on the side and the coal trough out the back. I'm not too sure if I've got any pictures of it. I don't think I do, which is sad, but he has the coal tender now with water in the back. And basically, it just made it easier for Nelson, and he looks a lot bigger than a lot of the other steam trains because of the modifications he's had done. But talking about modifications, the carriages that you're seeing right now, the red and yellow, are being transformed into these right here. Dining carts, I should say, to be hooked up to Nelson and Speedy, to be taken up to the marina by late September, late this month. Either the end of September, maybe early next month. We'll see how it goes. But yes, it will be put up at the marina, where they've ripped up some of the track and putting in a flower garden and that sort of stuff. And they've also been ripping up all the track as well, which I'll show you a little bit of that here. They're ripping up track and shipping it up to the mill in Mossman to help out with some of the old track, obviously fix them up. But it is 100 years old. It's very old, so it's not like it's a brand spanking new track. But yeah, that's really all I gotta say. It's just a tribute to the amazing steam trains that run around Port Douglas, or did run around Port Douglas. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Goodbye.